Welcome to the Steelers by the Lake podcast. My name is James Strong, joined once again by my co-host Cody Tanner. Cody, how are you this fine Wednesday afternoon?
Oh man, I'm doing all right. A little bit of a later podcast for us in the week. Had my parents down in West Virginia to visit this weekend. So that was a good time seeing them and hanging out with them and taking them to all the pretty places that we have around here because it's, it's just nature everywhere. Hills and mountains galore.
And banjos.
Yeah, it was cool. And banjos, a couple banjos. We heard a few on the back roads, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
No, it took them to see some waterfalls and stuff like that. It was nice. Nice having them up here, or down here, I should say, and it was good. So how are you, James? How are you doing?
Doing pretty good, man.
Yeah?
Life taking a nice turn in the right direction in a very unexpected manner. So very grateful for each day these days.
Hey, that's what we like to hear. We are going to go over May numbers. So top states for downloads in May. James, number 1, California, sneaking up in front of PA.
Huge amount of downloads in California last month. Appreciate every single one of you.
Yeah, I didn't expect that one. Number 2, Pennsylvania. Not surprised there. Number 3, Georgia. Again, maybe some of these Georgia Bulldogs fans coming out, supporting some of the guys we've drafted over the past few years. And then number 4, Ohio. And then James, number 5, had a 3-way tie between Missouri and then where I moved to West Virginia from, Texas and West Virginia ourselves. So fun little number 5 3-way tie there for 5th on most downloads from last month. So thank you all for downloading. Be sure to share with your friends, your family, your Steelers fans, maybe your Browns fans. Maybe if they want to hear someone talk about a winning team, that might be beneficial to them. So you never know.
Bro, this guy.
Listen,
this guy.
I saw somebody post a meme the other day, and it talked about, there's the crack. There's the crisp crack of whatever you're drinking. I don't even know. That's the one of the energy drinks.
Yeah. Alani.
Alani, that's the word. I saw somebody post like the last maybe 20 years of division champions, and it hasn't been the Browns. Not once.
No.
So we'd like to give them a little bit.
We're going to go back like 30, 40 years.
Yeah. I mean, you got to go back like
maybe?
50 years to see the last time we finished last in the division. So
yeah.
We'll see how this year goes.
Houston Oilers probably got a division win
before the Browns.
Than the Browns do.
Yeah, you're not wrong. So now we're going to talk about Steelers news. Obviously, second week of OTAs is here, but before the second week of OTAs, Steelers did sign tight end Isaiah Gaithers, another tight end. I don't remember where he's from, but we'll talk about that more moving forward. James, Peyton Wilson practicing in a different spot. Yeah.
We moved on to week 2 of OTAs. We're actually right now in mandatory minicamp, which was after week 2 of OTAs. And Peyton Wilson seeing a lot of time as the dime middle linebacker, which makes a lot of sense because he's tall, he's super athletic, very fast. That's the ideal prototypical size of what you're looking for a middle linebacker to be an eraser for tight ends and running backs, somebody that can match up with the athleticism and size of these guys. So that's really exciting to see. He's had nothing but good things to say about working with Patrick Queen and Landon Roberts thus far. And it sounds like he's getting a lot of reps pretty high in the pecking order.
Yeah.
So great news. Let's get that rookie on the field. I think he's got a lot of potential.
Well, and for the fans that maybe aren't as detailed as we are with football or Steelers football specifically. So a base defense has 4 down linemen, 4 linebackers, 2 on the edge, 2 in the middle. And then you have 2 safeties and 2 corners. So nickel is where you take out one of those down linemen normally, and then you have an extra corner. Dime is just taking out. They kind of vary, I think, depending on the team. Most of the time, we just take out a middle linebacker and have another safety or another corner on the field for that dime package. So listen, I mean, if they run that, there's a chance that we have a full rotation of at least 3, maybe 4 guys at the middle linebacker position When you process Patrick Queen, Cole Holcomb, and then Peyton Wilson as well. These guys could be in a really, really nice rotation to make sure they're well rested and getting their chance on the field. So I'm excited for that. Troy Fatanyu signs his rookie deal, James. So that's exciting. He's now officially on the team. Not that he wasn't before, but he actually signed the deal. So that's exciting for sure. We have one more guy left to sign.
Yep, just Zach Frazier, the second-round pick. And as we were discussing pre-show here, we always do like our 3-hour conference call to plan the show, right? All right, maybe not. But we talk about it a little bit. And part of the reason that we have not seen Zach Frazier signed quite yet is that with second-round guys, the first 2 years of their contract is fully guaranteed. So they get that money no matter what. The third year, it's a percentage. And each year that percentage gets a little higher. Let's say you're the 50th overall pick. And let's say last year the guy got 20% of it fully guaranteed. This year you might get 25%. It's small. It's incremental. It's very important. So last year the cutoff was like the 51st or 52nd guy, something like that. This year, the 58th guy got a partial guarantee in the third year of his contract. So the slider went way over, which really is great for everybody else that's a higher pick than him, because that means more guaranteed money in the third year. So we should see that Zach Frazier contract pretty soon, because we're starting to see pieces on each side of him fall into place. I don't expect him to miss a single day of any of these camps anyway, because he's all in. So.
Yep. Yeah, 100% definitely on. We did sign a free agent defensive back safety nickel corner combination. He's 5'9", 186 pounds. Graylin Arnold. Now, Graylin Arnold, if I remember correctly, played at... Oh, now I forgot what this was.
Yeah, he's got a little experience in the NFL. He's got some slot corner reps. He's got some safety reps. Seems like probably a little more of a slot corner than he is a safety. But that's a position that Pittsburgh's needed to address. We've talked about this over and over. Seemed like a lot of outside corner guys and not too many guys with a lot of experience in the slot.
Yeah.
So here's another guy with some NFL experience in the slot. Cody, what'd you find?
3 seasons with the Houston Texans, appearing in 20 games total. In 2023, he had 15 tackles, 11 of those being solo, a tackle for loss, and a forced fumble. Obviously not a starter for them. And then in 4 seasons in the NFL, because he was actually drafted or signed by the Philadelphia Eagles as an undrafted free agent following the 2020 draft, he appeared in 6 games, started in 1. And so in 4 seasons, he has 26 total tackles, 2 tackles for loss, 1 pass defended, and a forced fumble. He did have a lot of experience at Baylor in high school. He played in 37 games, recording 107 tackles, 82 of those solo, and 7 interceptions. So he is capable of picking the ball off. Unsure why he hasn't accumulated an interception in the NFL yet, but hopefully he can make that change here. If he fights for a starting job, or not a starting job, but a spot on the roster, I should say.
Small and slow. That's the issue going on here. He was like a 4.59 40-yard dash. And when you're 5'9", 186 pounds, you're hoping to see a little bit greater speed than that. So hopefully his short area quickness is good. That's more important for most slot guys than that long speed. Speaking of people
who are slow,
are better with short area quickness, maybe have some experience in the corner position. I'm going out of order here.
Oh, that's fine.
Pittsburgh did bring a very experienced corner back onto the roster. You're probably thinking, well, who is it? There's 3 guys that departed in the last couple of years that put a lot of quality snaps for us. Is it Patrick Peterson? No. Steven Nelson? No. Cam Sutton, back in Pittsburgh. Most of the charges that were brought against him in this offseason have been dropped. He's down to just a misdemeanor from what I understand.
Yep.
So all the felony charges gone. That's still going to be a big question mark as to, is he going to have any punishment from the league? Is he going to have any legal issues? But it's just a 1-year veteran minimum deal for him. So there's no guarantees. If he gets smacked over the head with a huge fine or suspension or something, well, then, Pittsburgh isn't out on anything financially, really.
Yep.
So good move for the quality of player that he is, and was never an issue when he was in Pittsburgh. Has 1 year in Detroit and then starts getting in legal trouble. No surprise, unfortunately, that Detroit known for crime. So
yeah, and I mean he had a colorful career in Pittsburgh, brought in 2017, excuse me. Every year he improved. It looked like he had 0 interceptions his rookie year in 5 games, 1 interception in 15 games, 1 interception in 16 games in 2019, and then 1 in 16. Then he improved in 2021. He had 2. The last year with Pittsburgh, he had 3 interceptions. So a lot of that came from more playing time. Obviously, in the last 2 years, he started the majority of his games. But 9 interceptions on his career, 8 of those being with Pittsburgh. Hoping he can come back and kind of fall right into place here. He's going to have playing time. I don't see him coming back and not making the team and not being I mean, obviously, unless the league comes down with a suspension or something like that, something crazy, due to that legal issues. But hopefully he can come back and rejuvenate his career in Pittsburgh. So we'll see what happens.
And I really believe that day one, he's probably the second best corner on the roster right away. I don't think they're going to start him opposite Joey Porter Jr. I think they're going to basically play him as a slot guy. And then if the new acquisition struggles, well, then maybe they'll put him out there instead. He's an incredibly intelligent football player as far as where he needs to be and where other people are supposed to be on the field. So that's something that I look forward to. Not to mention his last year on the team, he was kind of playing all over for Pittsburgh, did a lot of lining up at corner and then dropping into safety, and it made it really unpredictable for where Minkah Fitzpatrick was going to be on the field too. So having another high IQ player who can drop back, play a little bit of safety, help with the confusion as to where Minkah really is, where he lines up versus where he's going to end up, is going to help with creativity, give Minkah better opportunities, allow him to be more disruptive of a playmaker like he was in years previous to last year. As where last year, he pretty much had to stay static and help double team guys that the corners just couldn't handle on their own.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, and it shows in his pass breakups or pass defended. In the last year with Pittsburgh, he had 15,
That's a lot.
Which almost doubles his best year before that. So we'll hope to see some more of that high IQ football play out of him as he enters back into Pittsburgh. Someone else who has entered back into mandatory minicamp, Cam Heyward reports to camp. Obviously wasn't there at the voluntary stuff as he's not in a holdout, but he is trying to get a long-term or a longer-term deal done, a restructure, whatever you want to call it, extension. But Cam Heyward is back for mandatory visits or mandatory camp. We're not surprised there. We expected him to be back.
No.
We didn't expect a holdout or anything like that, anything crazy. But he's a veteran. He is older. He coming off of a groin surgery. That voluntary stuff, he took some more time off to probably spend with his families. And I don't think he was doing nothing. He was probably doing stuff on his own and training and working out and getting in shape for the season. So love to see him back at camp, though. Love to see him back in the building in Pittsburgh.
And in an interview, he did indicate that he is looking to play an additional 3 years and only wants to play for Pittsburgh, which is great news for Pittsburgh because previous to his injury last year, he cranked off 3 or 4 years in a row of Pro Bowl and All-Pro appearances, just being one of the most dominant defensive linemen in the entire NFL as far as a defensive tackle type. A lot of people for a few years there had Aaron Donald as the number 1 D tackle, and Cam Heyward is the number 2. So if he can get back to that form this year, remain injury-free, which he's only missed significant time twice in his entire career with injury. Outside of that, you're going to see him playing 16, 17 games darn near every season. And the ones that he had 16 were because there were only 16 games at that point.
Yeah.
And now there's 17. So
it was
generally a very healthy guy. 6
Pro Bowls in a row. Alternating every other year, he was selected first team All-Pro as well. So, and that was age 28, age 30, and age 32. He is now entering 2024 at 35 years old. So, still going strong. So we love to see it. Obviously, last year with the injury, which was unfortunate, but we're excited to see him back. James, I also want to mention something. You talked about Cam Heyward only wanting to play for Pittsburgh. Micah Parsons came out in an interview for the Dallas Cowboys and said that he would love to finish his career in Dallas, but if he had to play for another team, it would be Pittsburgh because of Mike Tomlin. So that was a fun little snippet that came out recently. Probably got way too many.
TJ's gonna want him here after all the trash he's.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. He's not even on TJ's not even on as top 10 or top 5 edge rushers, which is
Yeah,
ridiculous.
he gave his top 5 edge rushers and didn't put TJ in it, and then said, "Just watch the tape. He's not as good as these guys."
Yeah,
like get out of here, man.
but
TJ is the Pittsburgh Steelers. It's great that you like Mike Tomlin. I like Mike Tomlin too, but there's no way in hell you're getting brought in here if your career's over in Dallas, knowing that you've been a cancer towards TJ, who is right now the poster boy for Pittsburgh. Yep. Not happening, bro. Put somebody else on your list.
Yeah, let's be real. He's probably the poster boy for the NFL as far as pass rushers now that Aaron Donald's out of the league. I mean, some people will still put Myles Garrett there, but that's beside the point. But
yeah,
no,
I mean, if you're looking for somebody who actually gets to the quarterback and actually completes the play, it's TJ.
Yeah, and doesn't go to just the weak side of offensive guy and actually plays.
Doesn't run away from double teams like he's a scared little girl.
Ooh, shots fired, Browns fans. Shots fired.
I said it.
Listen, we've been attacking the Browns fans since we started this episode.
Bring it, Miles. I ain't scared of you.
Yeah, watch out for the Facebook coaches now talking about bringing in Micah Parsons, and so we're going to be watching those comments roll in. But no, we did talk about the tight end Isaiah Gaithers at the beginning of the show. Pittsburgh did release him. His stint with the team was short, and then we also waived the injured cornerback Luke Barku. So he is no longer on the team due to injury. Unfortunate for that. Hey, we brought 2 corners in, one goes out. That's not a bad trade-off. So hopefully we can get these guys in and rolling and see what we got. Preseason's coming up, James. We're excited.
Yeah. Yeah. So the tight end, not that big of a deal. He was like 6'3", 233. They listed him as a tight end. That was never going to work in Pittsburgh.
No.
So he wasn't a fullback. He wasn't a tight end. He wasn't fast enough to be a wide receiver. No surprise they moved on from him pretty quickly. Luke Barku was on the practice squad like the last 2 years in a row, I believe. So he was one of those borderline rosterable corners. So I kind of hope to see him clear waivers and then come back to Pittsburgh after he's healed up from the injury.
Yeah.
Usually these injuries, if it's a waived/injured like they indicate on this one, there is an injury settlement for the duration of how long they expect the injury to take to heal. So if they think he's going to be fine in 3 or 4 weeks, he'll get paid for 3 or 4 weeks worth of salary. And then afterwards, he becomes a completely unrestricted free agent, can sign with anyone. If Pittsburgh likes him better than somebody else on the back end of the roster, which I imagine they do since he was on the practice squad last year, look for that move once he's healthy. I really do think they'll probably try to bring him back. If for nothing else, good depth on the practice squad throughout the season.
Yep. So preseason is 2 months and 4 days away for Pittsburgh, as we will host the Houston Texans on August 9th at 7 p.m. So we're excited for that. We will have more things regarding OTAs next week when we talk about that. But you have things to say.
I got one more thing. If you live in Erie, Pennsylvania, which is this upcoming Saturday, June the 8th, Jaylen Warren will be at Dick's Sporting Goods. So a lot of people have been messaging me about that. I have seen that, but I appreciate all of you letting me know. Anyway, regardless, get up there, man. Get yourself a signature. See if you can shake Jaylen's hand. Why not?
Yeah, absolutely. There is a chance that he will be the starting back if Pittsburgh decides to not bring Najee back after this year. So be on the lookout for that. Remember, Jaylen Warren and Najee both won the Mad Runner, Angry Run, whatever it is.
Angry Run
of the week from last year. So excited to see him. That's actually really excited. So go out, see him, get an autograph, and then we will see you guys next week on next week's show. We can't thank you guys enough for listening and watching. If you're on YouTube, be sure to like and follow on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. Subscribe, ring the bell. It's free. Don't forget about the 5-star reviews on Apple Podcasts for James over here. Make him real happy. And until next time, this is your host, James and Cody, signing off.
Peace.